So we've had the gameplay for Mass Effect Andromeda, finally, and now the dust has settled, we've all calmed down a little, and we can now dissect the gameplay and theorise as much as we want, or at least until N7 day anyway. In this video, we plan to give you as much information as possible now that BioWare have released this gameplay, and we'll be covering characters, the setting, the gameplay in general, basically as much as possible so you've got all the information you need in one handy place. So without further ado, let's get started. The graphics look great. The surfaces, the textures, the draw distance, I could go on. But if we look a little deeper, we can pick up on quite a few new things as well as other things we've seen already quite a while back. So firstly, as the gameplay video starts, it's easy to see that we're inside or underneath something. We initially thought we may be inside this structure, but Mac Walters has recently confirmed on Twitter that although the gameplay levels shown on the concept art ship are made by the same builders, they are not the same location. We have seen this location shown in the gameplay before though, in this concept art from N7 Day 2014. If you look in the background, the almost pyramid-like structures match the ones shown in this early concept art. Moving on a bit further, we get our first shot of the male rider, which has been confirmed by various BioWare devs to be the brother of the female rider we were introduced to back at E3, but a bit more on that later. As the camera pans around, we get the first of likely many looks at what plants and possibly insect life will look like in the Andromeda galaxy. Some plants are much bigger than our character, some are only half our size, but you have to admit, the small, bright orange and yellow lights really add to the feel of the surroundings, and look quite beautiful. Moving on, as Male Rider drops down and moves towards the edge of the first platform, we see the back of his suit for the first time, and when we did our initial analysis video on this gameplay, Rima noticed that on the back of the suit was a letter and a number. Rima's initial thought was that this said G2, but a few people on Twitter and in the comments of the analysis video said it was likely O2, meaning an oxygen tank, which made sense. But after looking into it and seeing a response from Mac Walters to Biofan, Mac confirmed that the first letter definitely wasn't an O, but stopped short of saying if it was a G. But a simple internet search on what G2 means, it does have some links to military intelligence, so maybe our team are part of a military intelligence group as part of the Andromeda or Pathfinder initiative. We also get to see the overall look of the armour that has a couple of sweet bum straps, possibly indicating or hinting at certain levels of armour customization, and what looks like a magnetically floating pistol holder on the leg. As the video continues, we get our first in-game look at the booster pack in action. I say booster pack as calling it a jetpack may indicate that you could be in the air for longer, but with all the evidence we've seen so far, the pack only gives us a jump boost to either slightly higher places or to jump over somewhat larger gaps. Looking around the area, you also notice that although it seems like we're in a cave somewhere deep underground, there is technology surging through this place. The hue of green throughout makes it seem synthetic in origin. Kinda like the synthetic choice at the end of Mass Effect 3 has had an effect, although it has already been well established that none of the main endings in Mass Effect 3 will be canon moving into the events of Mass Effect Andromeda. Moving on, we see Ryder use a scanner, possibly part of a multifunction Omni tool, to scan the local plant life. But our character is clearly surprised in the audio, which we can't use in videos due to copyright, to find that even though there is no water or sunlight in this area, the plants are thriving when they should be dead. Although upon my 700th viewing of this gameplay, there appears to be what looks like a small waterfall on the very far bottom left of this shot. We also see that the results of the scan mention the planet is related to another surface plant on a planet called Eos, possibly the planet we're on at the moment. Mac Walters confirmed that you can also scan other things too, including the Remnant. As Ryder makes his way to the panel and then to the next platform, we see deeper down into the cavernous space below, which seems to have a look of a sea of gas, which may be why we see Ryder still wearing his helmet in this part of the footage, but see him with his helmet off later on after he has walked through the big door into the heart of the vault. But with the previously mentioned small waterfall looking thing, this could very well be water. Next, as Ryder is about to land on the next platform, 3 drone-like machines pop up in the near distance. This is our first look at the Remnant. Or is it? If we go back a little bit, we can see one of the Remnant working away just as we're about to scan the plant. I personally think these are just one of at least a few different types of forms for the Remnant. These seem more like janitors of these vaults, keeping things running and in order. They aren't without their defences though. Mentioned in the game audio is the line, "Remember, they don't turn nasty unless you get too close." And as we see towards the end of the cutscene, we may have gotten a little too close, as the Remnants decide to chase our Asari friend and the crew out of the vault, seemingly having activated some sort of security system. One last thing to mention before moving on to the next section, a few people have said it seemed strange that characters seem to disappear or switch places. This has been explained in the PlayStation Access interview with Mac Walters, where he confirmed that the edits had been made to showcase the environment for the purpose of the PS4 Pro reveal event, so no magically vanishing characters, just a bit of editing. So in the cutscenes we're briefly introduced to 4 characters. 3 humans, 2 males, 1 female, and an Asari. And we get our first look at the male Ryder without his helmet on. And this is the brother to the female Ryder we were introduced to back at EA Play and E3. Whether this is female Ryder with you in the gameplay remains unclear, especially when Mac Walters confirmed in his interview with PlayStation Access that if you decided to play as female Ryder, your brother would exist in the same game world at the same time, but somewhere else in the universe. So likely meaning, although not 100% confirmed, that this female, for now, is just an NPC who is a part of your team. Another confirmation to tie the family unit together from Mac Walters was that the N7 character we've seen so much of in the previous trailers is actually our father, and that this was the Ryder family unit now complete. Although Mac Walters did confirm on Twitter that we would find out what happened to Mum Ryder, so for anyone who's wondering what's happened to her, we will find out eventually. Now we move on to the other mystery characters. Firstly, the other male human, who maybe gets 1 line of dialogue in this gameplay. We also don't know what he looks like as he decides to keep his helmet on, and we basically have no idea who he is. Some have said he has a similar build and stature to the N7 dad, but depending on how the overall story arc of the game is going to play out, we're not sure how much that would make sense in what seems to be an early part of the game. Now to the Asari, or the Smiling Asari as she is now apparently known. Murmurs from the Mass Effect community have said this might be Cora, who was mentioned in the Reddit leaks. We're not 100% sure, and we don't want to speculate too much until N7 Day on this particular character, but we love the way she looks, and we feel that she's going to have a big role to play moving forward throughout the game. So this segment is relating to a few story hints that came up out of an interview with Aaron Flynn immediately after the conference wrapped up. Now the details here, we wouldn't really consider them spoilers, but out of respect for people who want to steer clear of any spoilers, you'll probably want to skip the next few minutes, so here's a possible spoiler warning for you. So in the Aaron Flynn interview, he was asked for the pitch of the story after the end of the original trilogy. These are the points we took from this. The game opens with us travelling to Andromeda, so we're possibly just about to arrive as the game begins. We and a lot of other humans have fled the Milky Way galaxy, particular focus on the word fled, possibly lending more support to the theory that the Arks left Earth before the end of Mass Effect 3. This would also confirm that the planet that the Arks were leaving in the EA Play trailer was indeed Earth. It was confirmed that other races indeed did lend their help to the Arks. The Krogan and the Asari were specifically mentioned, but it was also mentioned that some races from the original trilogy could show up as well. Also mentioned was that the Pathfinder's job is to find and build a new home for humanity. There'll also be exploration, quests, and a galactic level mystery to be investigated. The galactic level mystery will form part of the critical path of the storyline, and we'll need to figure out what the mystery is. The only familiar things in the Andromeda Galaxy are what we've brought with us on the Ark ships. Everything in the Andromeda Galaxy will be new. BioWare are really trying to get across the feeling of we are the aliens and what being the aliens in a new galaxy must feel like. So a lot of people have been wondering what part of the game this level is from, but if we look at the Reddit leak from a while back, which is basically confirmed as true at this point, it does give us a description of what the level is. It says, find and activate remnant monoliths to unlock remnant vaults. Explore abandoned remnant ruins to find and locate a powerful artifact, but once you remove it, you will trigger the vault defences that will arm traps, activate defence robots, and even change the architecture of the vault itself to stop you from escaping. Fight your way out of the vault and you will be rewarded with valuable loot, including powerful gear, crafting resources, and star keys that can be used to unlock massive orbital facilities in space that grant permanent stat bonuses. So this level doesn't seem to fall within the main story arc, and it's maybe similar to the raids in Destiny, gaining weapons or armour to be able to upgrade your defences. It also mentions star keys to unlock massive orbital facilities. Maybe this is the orbital facility that these star keys unlock, and Mac Walters did confirm that while these two locations were made by the same builders, they are not the same location. There are a couple of logos that show up that we may have seen before. Speculation has this logo as the Andromeda Initiative or Alliance Intelligence, but the logo on this person's armour is slightly different. It has the A, although the A looks slightly different, but has an almost rectangular shape next to it, possibly meaning a higher or different rank. We've also seen the AI logo before, when Mac Walters wore it on his shirt for a couple of interviews earlier this year. Also, just adding something else on the end here as well, and another recording after already recording the video earlier, Mac Walters also updated his Twitter banner with what we thought originally was concept art at first, but thanks to a response from Mac himself to us, and a double confirmation from lead designer on Mass Effect Andromeda Ian Frazier, this image is actually from in-game, so something else that is actually in-game that we can feast our eyes on. And as the title of this video suggests, as far as we can tell, that's all of the main points we've taken from this whole gameplay reveal and interviews that took place after the PlayStation 4 Pro event. We really want to know what you think about these last 4 days or so with the gameplay reveal and the interviews afterwards as well, so be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. As always, you can subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things Mass Effect, and you can help the channel to grow by sharing the video too. Thanks for watching guys, we'll see you again very soon.